young Ahsoka in live action, and I'm living for it. Hi everyone, T here, and today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite fandoms, Star Wars. I've talked about a couple of my favorite fandoms, but I don't think I've mentioned Star Wars yet. So as I said in one of my Percy Jackson videos, I said I wanted to review the episodes of the new Percy Jackson show, but they're coming out this December. So I thought I'd test the waters with another episode-based series out by Disney, Star Wars' Ahsoka. And I'm just going to say this now, I'm not going to review the other episodes that came before this one. They are already out, everyone's already seen them. I'm just going to start with this one and continue off this if this one does good. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about episode... It's number 5, right? My goodness, I haven't actually... How could I forget that? Ahsoka episode 5. I almost forgot that. Well, I'm super excited to be talking about it because, little spoiler warning here, it is my favorite episode so far. Well, gonna put my spoiler warning for Ahsoka here. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, young Ahsoka in live action, and I'm living for it. The ages through the background scenes are a bit off, I thought. If you don't know what I mean that we go from one of their first missions, as it's mentioned.
This was one of our first missions. Why are we here?
You tell me.
And then there's the siege of Mandalore.
This was the siege of Mandalore.
Which, if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure they were a couple years apart, because Ahsoka mentions that she and Anakin had parted ways by that point.
We had parted ways by now.
So it makes the most sense that this aging in the background scenes is a bit off, because they use the same actress, which is fine, but they don't show the passage of time. And technically, if I'm not wrong, Ahsoka was 14 in the first season of Clone Wars, and then somewhere in her 17s around the end, which is when the Siege of Mandalore would have happened, I think. If I am wrong here, tell me. I want to know. Well, I just want to give all regards to the girl who played young Ahsoka. She did so well with the acting and the fight scenes. When she was fighting Anakin, I was almost disappointed. Okay, I was kind of disappointed when we switched back to it being older Ahsoka, because it was so fun to see Anakin and young Ahsoka fight. That was so cool. Well, the scenes when Anakin was flashing between Darth Vader and just himself was really well done. Claps to the editors all around. They should be so proud. They looked amazing. The fight with Anakin and Ahsoka that they have in this episode has so much symbolism. The red eyes for Anakin and the aforementioned flashes between Darth Vader and himself do show how he is evil, and he does mention that he and Ahsoka are very similar, which in the original Clone Wars, I always thought they were similar. But this really brings it out. They physically mention it.
Ahsoka, within you will be everything I am. All the knowledge I possess.
Because it's something we are alluded to, but we don't physically hear. And it is cool to physically hear that they are so similar, because they just are similar. And also the idea that he is also showing his dark side here, that is Darth Vader. And then, in the end of this fight, Ahsoka uses the red lightsaber. And she has it up to Anakin's neck. You can see the red reflecting into her eyes, showing her being on the dark side. But then she throws it away, choosing the light side. It shows she's not evil and not on the dark side, which is so cool. And in this scene, she says she chooses life.
I choose to live.
And is it just me, or is the life and death thing sound like symbolism for dark side and light side? And another small symbolism thing I'm just going to sneak in here is that the red reflected in Anakin's eyes leaves at the end of the fight as he walks away, saying that there's hope for her yet.
There's hope for you yet.
Which is so good. And the writing in all these World Between Worlds scenes, really cool. It was really enjoyable. I really liked seeing young Ahsoka, and I'm normally someone who gets annoyed when voices are different, but this was okay. But there was one thing. Rex, Commander Rex of the clones, he sounded different.
We'll secure the perimeter. Come on, let's go!
It was just wrong. I can deal with everyone else sounding different, but Rex and the clones have to sound the same. They're like the voice glue of the Star Wars universe. You know the clones by their voices, and by voices, I mean voice. The one guy who has played them throughout all the Clone Wars. Next character I'm going to talk about is Jason. Jason is the best character. Okay, well, maybe not the best, but in the show, he is just amazing. We didn't get to see a lot of him in the first couple episodes, and I thought maybe they were just going to cameo him in, but he shined in this episode. He is very Force sensitive, and it's really cool to see him use the Force so strongly without any training. He must have a high midichlorian count. I'm going to die for saying that in the... Oh my goodness. But there are so many things I love about this guy. Some small things I liked about him was his relationship with Chopper, especially the scene when he hid behind Chopper and poked his head out. Made me laugh. It was adorable. It's great. And also when he talked to the lightsaber droid guy. That's actually the name I put in my notes. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. They were fun to see together, and their little interaction, an adult-child relationship, how Jason was excited, and Mr. Lightsaber Droid guy was like, no, yes, no. One odd thing I found was when Ahsoka woke up after being found in the ocean, she woke up without the crown thing that she always wears. That kind of bridge, it's kind of the bridge between her orange skin and her white skin. And she doesn't have it on here. And the transition from orange to white is just very off. It's unsettling, and I feel they could have done a better gradient for it instead of it being so boom, change, line drawn. Could have been a better gradient. It just kind of looked weird. Also, the outfit Ahsoka wears here and throughout the rest of this episode after she wakes up is very reminiscent of outfits worn on desert planets, like all the ones we've seen, Tatooine, in certain other desert planet names here. Oh, and we've got the space whales back. That's fun. Jason talks about the time the space whales helped the rebels in Rebels. Oh, and Ahsoka just has them fly into the mouth of the whale. Now that is something I would have never guessed they'd do. So funny and really cool. And when Ahsoka says that she doesn't know where Sabine is and she's just going to let the whales take them, that is amazing. So cool and reminded me of young Ahsoka from Clone Wars. And I still can't get over that they're flying in the mouths of the space whales. It's really funny. Okay, so there's so much in this episode that is just full of background scenes, which are so good, and I love seeing all those kind of things. Jason was so good, he made me laugh, but also gave me times when I could think, oh my goodness, this kid can hear the world between worlds, that is so cool. And of course, the whole episode ended with the good old, let the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Something that I think is a great line to end any Star Wars movie on. Whether it's a movie, episode, show, short, it works and gives the idea that the story is just getting bigger from here. By far, this is the best episode. And I do see why they'd put the two, Sabine and Ahsoka, together. There's a bond that always makes me think when I see it. Like Ahsoka can see herself in Sabine, which I also see. They actually are very similar characters. very rebellious and excitable, except Sabine likes to blow things up. Note, Sabine has not blown anything up in this series. I know she's technically grown, but she can't just blow one thing up. I know she's trying to use the Force, but I want to see something big blown up. In the words of Wrecker, I like to blow things up because I like to blow things up. But I really like both of these characters, again, Ahsoka and Sabine, because they're funny, serious, and rebellious. So maybe they're more alike than I first thought. But anyway, this episode was my favorite so far. I loved the characters and everything that happened. I can't wait to see more. I really liked the mystery behind that Sabine wasn't in this episode at all, except for some of the voices, except for her voice, which means we don't know what's going on with her. I was expecting this episode to switch to her, but no, it was really focused on background scenes and the other characters, which was great. I'm not saying I don't like Sabine. She's one of my favorite characters from Rebels, but I didn't expect them to just stick away from her this entire episode. Well, I'm getting sidetracked again. I can't wait to see more, and I really want to see more Jason. Oh, and then there's Hera. I'll add a small bitty bop about her. In this episode, she comes and helps them, even though she wasn't given permission by the council. What are they called? I forgot what they're called. But she doesn't get permission. And that is a very Hera move. I enjoyed that. Well, that's all I can think to say for now. So thank you all for watching this video. If you liked this video, please like this video. If you didn't like this video, well then just like this video. I want to know your opinion. And if you think my videos are up to par enough, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to review the other episodes. I found that I was able to get so much out of this episode, and it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. Well, if that's all, goodbye for all good luck. T, signing off. Bye!